What's up, guys? I'm Mike Thomas, and today we're going to take a trip down memory lane and check out a review on a Nintendo classic and a remake at that. And that game is Harvest Moon Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. The year's 2020, and it seems like more and more TV remakes of old nostalgia shows pop up by the day. So why would the gaming world be any different? Well, guess what? It's not, and today's review will be diving into a game doing just the same. This is the remake of Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town, except with a fresh new name, Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. The fun farming simulator, which originally came out for the Game Boy Advance in 2003, is back, with a fresh coat of paint and on multiple platforms. That's right, this game came out for both the Nintendo Switch and the PC, and for this game, I got to review it on the PC. The remake's a great blast from the past, as you're given the keys, or break, to your grandfather's farm, and begin your journey to ultimate farmdom. Fun little Easter egg at the beginning is when the mayor asks if you want the farm, you can choose no, and at the game, it will legit just end and play the credits. But once you're done having fun with that though, you can just dive right into planting crops, buying animals, and collecting resources that they give you daily to sell. As your farm grows, you can add more types of animals, gain help from characters named sprites with farm chores. You gotta make friends with them first. It's pretty easy, but I guess you gotta scratch their back before they scratch yours. I don't know, they're kind of short. Maybe they would scratch your leg. I'm going to stop talking about that. Basically, then your other goal is to just upgrade both the farm and your equipment to work smarter and not harder. And I have to say, learning how to play this game efficiently is a must, as the in-game clock flies and everything in this game is based off of that clock. If you decide you want to ponder on the day ahead instead of pre-planning the night before or while on pause, you're going to find yourself quickly running out of time to sell your crops before they're collected for the day, not get to stores you needed before they close, and you're not going to build any relationships with the townfolk. That's another really cool piece that I've always loved about Harvest Moon. Story of Seasons games is the ability to build relationships with the townfolk, and that includes like gaining a significant other who you can eventually marry and even have a kid with. So specific to this title, you can now actually have a same-sex marriage, which is really cool inclusion into this game, and it's a first of this specific franchise. With this being a remake, the goal is obviously to stay on course with the original title while freshening things up, attempting to sprinkle some new exciting things in there without ruining the appeal of that original game on the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, no, we're talking about you, Majora's Mask. You guys really screwed up. Honestly, I think they did an amazing job with that. They updated the graphics, added a couple new characters into the game who I think fit in perfectly, and they also added like an in-game menu to display your relationship level with townsfolk, so it's not just a guessing game. That it can be tough as it is, and not knowing it like in the first original title, it makes the game for a lot longer and, well, like I said, a guessing game, and that's just not fun. And they did a whole lot of other things, but honestly, I'm not going to name them to first off spoil it for you, and second, because I can't keep track of everything. I feel like they did things that actually help your journey rather than completely change it, so recognize the original title in the first place, but aid, and that's really a good remake is going to do that. Now, I did allude earlier that the game clock is very quick, and although the game clock does keep you moving quickly and stressfully during the game, there is still a calmness about these games that make you feel like you aren't in a hopeless sprint across town to shops, like before they close, and you can find some relaxation in playing while still being challenged to move like strategically and quickly. The music that plays throughout the game is just a fun, upbeat variety of jingles that you can't help but smile and enjoy. They're fun. The one thing that does bother me is every time you move into like a new zone, I guess to call it, the music does change. But they really still do a good job of just keeping that excitement and that calm relaxation while you're running for your life. It's similar to like a same happy undertone you get from a title like an Animal Crossing, which is exactly what you feel in this game. Definitely make sure to feed your animals so that way you can get different items from them, like an egg for the chicken. Oh no, there's no more food left. I hope they're not hungry. The game features the 4 seasons that we experience in the real world, like fall, winter, spring, and summer. And each season is going to bring on different types of crops, different types of scenery in the overworld, and so on. So it's really fresh with that. And just when you start to kind of get bored of one season, it does change. And then you get something completely new to look forward to, which is really cool. Certain days, you're going to get each season, they're going to have like different festivals where you can like partake in a cooking challenge, or I don't know, maybe itch that gambling bug inside of you and partake in a little bit of horse betting. Woohoo! Also, you can even join in on the horse racing as a racer once your horse becomes full grown. But yeah, just make sure to tend to your crops before you jump into any of those events, as the day will automatically skip multiple hours after you're done partaking in those event activities. And then you're going to find yourself running at the end, not getting sleep, and then it's going to ruin the next day, and then you're not going to get to marry the love of your life, and basically you could just delete the file on your game. The games do have some drawback, however. I mean, while I love the fact that it can going, it does feel like you don't have a second to just stop and smell that sweet, sweet manured field smell. You are just constantly running and always making sure you hit all the things you need to do daily to run the farm successfully and build that correct relationship. And honestly, I found it easier to just write out a list of daily chores on a pad of paper so I didn't have to stop and think about what to do next, and I could just get right into it. But I mean, listen, this is a video game. I'm not trying to do like homework and stuff. That's not what this is about. Also, I know that there is a lot of gameplay at the beginning, but once you've built that strong relationship and gotten married, you had the kid, and then you filled your farm with all the cool animals and crops and all the pets that you want, the game is essentially the same thing day in and day out, and that can get dull pretty quickly. I mean, listen, I do understand there isn't much more you can add to a farming simulation game, and they did their best to add as much things to keep it interesting, little side quests and stuff like that. So they did pull as much content out that felt relevant without risking content really just for the sake of content, but I don't know. I just think it's one of those games where you really can't get away from that dullness and that same mundane day-to-day, and eventually you're just going to be signing on weekly and pulling crops. And that sounds miserable. That all being said, I think this game was a great blast from the past and a successful remake of a great title. Any changes that Story of Seasons did make from the original, they were subtle and they helped the game while making sure to not take away from that nostalgia that you had. If I had to pick, I would prefer the Nintendo Switch version, as you could take it with you on the go. But the PC version of the game really held its own just fine. You have more buttons that are available on the keyboard and everything, so you're able to do a lot more quicker in this game, which does help because, I don't know, have I said it, that every second counts? The one drawback to these types of games are that they can start to get mundane, and I do get bored doing the same thing day after day. But the fact that it does move fast-paced gives that exciting sense of urgency that keeps the excitement going longer. I also have to admit, this game helped a ton with my organizational and time management skills too. So, I can be proud of that because now I'm a better worker in my real life, and maybe this job will get me the promotion that I so desperately needed. All in all, when it comes down to it and I have to give this game a rank, I'm gonna go with a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's a great game, and I just feel like 7 is too low and 8's just a little bit too high. But really, it's a game that I would suggest picking up, and it's just a fun, calm game. If you like an Animal Crossing, you're really going to like this, as I feel it does give just a little bit more to offer, but maybe a less popular name. That's it for me, guys. Listen, if you liked this, make sure to like. If you have any comments on it, if you think I'm an idiot and have no idea how to rate a game, let me know that as well. But until next time, guys, I'll see you later.